Hey guys, what's up? I am back making a video after literally like months of not making any videos. And I'm so sorry about that, but I have just been so busy. Since my vlogs, I have left my job, my W-2 job as a dog trainer, and I started my own company. And I have been super blessed to have a lot of success and to have a lot of clients. And it's been going great, but with that, I've been working on overdrive with, the scheduling, the website creation, actually training the dogs, caring for the dogs. So myself, I was doing pretty much all of it, and now my husband's on my, he's helping me with it, and he's training too, because he is a trainer as well. But he had stepped away for a bit and then came back after I started my own thing. So yeah, so things are going really good, and I'm really blessed. I've just been super busy. Like every single day is just on 100. So I do apologize for the lack of videos. I thought I'd hop on here and then just do like a little update and kind of what I'm doing with my dog Azula, where we're at, film a training session with her kind of thing. So yeah, let's get into it. So Azula is about 15 months old now, and we are starting to work on secondary obedience with her. So she knows her obedience pretty well, on its own, but then when you start incorporating it in the protection phase, it's a lot more difficult for the dog to be able to control their drives and pop in and out of certain mindsets and drive states. So that's where we're at, and Azula is a very, very driven, enthusiastic, easily frustrated dog. She's great at, she's pretty good at protection. It's hard for her to control those emotions for her. Like, she's a lot of dog. She lights up very easily, so I've been working on kind of reeling her in, helping her understand that the obedience is the gateway to the reward. It's not just me doing this really frustrating thing. And because she's starting to, what I found was she would vocalize out of frustration. When I'd ask her to come to heel or, come out of her bark and hold, she would just be very, very leaky, very barky, whiny. So there's a lot of frustration there that I'm working on providing clarity so that the leaking and the barking and stuff will hopefully start to decrease. So that's what I've been doing in the protection phase. So that's what I'm working on, and working a lot on basic position, which is probably what you're gonna see me do today in our training session. I'm gonna do a lot of basic and working on her head position in Foos, because what I found was when she tries to look me in the eyes, which is what I taught her to do initially, so that's my fault, she will wrap around in front of me and try to look me in the eyes. And I don't really want her to have the wrapping heel. I'd like her to have more of a straight up and looking at the side of my face heel. So that's what I'm reworking with her, and that's probably what you guys are gonna see me do today. And what else? Updates is I got a little Boston Terrier, and her name is Fish, and she's very cute. I just wanted a little lap dog. I've always wanted a little lap dog for quite a while, and I adopted a French Bulldog a long time ago, but she really needed somebody that was going to be home all the time. She was extremely, extremely anxious in a crate, and it was not something that I think was gonna be possible without a lot of medication and changing a lot of my lifestyle. So I found a better situation for her and I adopted this girl, and she's pretty awesome. She fits the bill. So this is Fish, and you'll probably see her around our house, around our videos, and she's very snuggly, very cute. She's pretty much always in a blanket, or she's on a bed or curled up somewhere. So she's pretty perfect for us, because I love a snuggle buddy. And other updates. I've been following Dave Croyer's online school for IGP training, and that has been extremely helpful for me, because you guys know I am a dog trainer, but I'm not an IGP competitor. I have not been an IGP competitor. This is my first IGP dog. So there's a lot of things that I am not sure of because I don't have experience in this field. I understand behavior, but it's a whole different ball game when you're dealing with something as advanced as Shetland or any of the bite work sports, right? So it's been very helpful for me to have the Dave Croyer online video subscription. And I think it's like $11, $10 a month. And I think like for that price, the value is amazing. If you have your first IGP dog and you're looking for a little extra insight, I would recommend Dave Croyer. Canamo is really great too. I've bought some courses from Canamo. Tobias Olenek, I hear, is very good. And I like watching Shatan Kevin too. So, you know, there's lots of different options, and I'm probably gonna buy Tobias next after I kind of run through the Dave Croyer videos. Tobias's is like $60 a month. I think there's a lot more kind of behind the scenes content too. Dave Croyer has really helped me up my game with how I am starting the obedience sessions and the training sessions, getting the dog to activate me, not me trying to bribe the dog to do things for me. It's reversed. You want the dog to be pushing you into rewarding them and you being more of a passive handler. So that was great. I put her star mark, I put her, the first saver goes on at the beginning of every training session to mark that we're training. And I usually use a verbal cue like, are you ready? And then we start to train. She starts to bark, and that's usually the activation behavior for the session. So I don't ask her to do it. Maybe initially in the first sessions I would ask her, but then after that I would just wait for her to start doing it, and then we would start training. I've also started just hand feeding her, so she doesn't get any free food. She gets food on the track. We're doing tracking quite a bit, and then she gets food from my hand because I want to keep as much intensity and focus and reward coming from me, keeping it as rewarding as possible when it comes from me. Using a lot more food because when I play with the ball, it brings her drive state up a lot, and it's hard to kind of get the reps in and teach the finer things when she's going nuts for the ball. I definitely still use the ball, but I guess what I'm saying, when I'm teaching head position, I need to use food. The ball's not gonna be, I'm not gonna be able to lure her into the right head position. It's too detailed, and I need that to be able to just move my hands slightly and have her head move. So I'm using food to teach the head position. And then at the end of our sessions, I will play with her and we have a great time. And I work a lot on playing with her. It's really important that with your Shetland dog that you have a good relationship with playing with your dog, because that's what's gonna bring the fun to the obedience and to being with you, right? If you are the signal of the end of all fun and you take the toy every time and you don't play with them, you just tell them to out it, they're not gonna enjoy bringing the ball back to you and playing with you. And I think that's been a really amazing part of my relationship with Zula, was developing that. And initially she's more of an independent kind of girl. She would rather go just possess it. So I'm really proud of the work that I've put in to foster that relationship with her. And it's been really important because she would rather just keep it herself, and she would rather just guard it. Like, she's a possessive dog. So I'm proud of that. I've been training her on Royal Canin kibble, the large, gigantic German Shepherd kibbles. And that's not because I love the ingredients. I don't. I really didn't want to move to this food, but the thing is that when I train with smaller kibbles, I will drop them by mistake. And the Inukshuk that I'm using, I like how she's maintaining weight on it, but it's too small for me. And she's very, very intense. So, you know, even if I just drop one, I have to race her to the ground to stop her from getting it. And she kind of knows she's not supposed to get it, but still it's a distraction in her mind that there's food on the floor. So she's not focused anymore as much as she could be. So I heard Dave Croyer talking about how the large kibbles are much easier, and he just uses Royal Canin instead, and all his dogs have lived healthy lives on it. So I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. And I do feed her Inukshuk on the track, or just if I need to get more calories in after a full day of training, occasionally I give her the insigh and I'll put like an egg and oil on it and stuff. But for as far as actual training sessions, I'm using the Royal Canin. And then what else? I went to a Frank Phillips seminar and it was amazing. I really enjoyed the way that he trains and his perspective, and it really brought a lot of clarity to me to how my dog is thinking and how to create the picture that I want with my dog in the end. I think the nuggets that I would share from that would be that the dog should feel like at any point on the field they could get rewarded for a bite. So not just when you're, if you're gonna heel away from the blind and the dog's like, oh, I'm not gonna get the bite till I turn around and, they put me in a down and then they send me. If they do well at any point, they would send the dogs immediately for another bite, and then they would reload with another pillow. The dog would out it, and then they would already have another pillow ready. The dog would start healing again anywhere along the field and then get sent. So the dog believes at any moment they could be rewarded, and I think that was a really fresh perspective for me. Because Shetland is very like routine based, I didn't really think about like, oh, in the training process, like anywhere on the field, they could be sent to the decoy and get a bite for doing a good job, right? For doing very nice healing or having really good engagement with the handler. The other thing was rewarding your dog in a trial picture. As far as, this was in terms of like rewarding your dog for healing. Instead of marking and rewarding your dog when you're doing this and looking at them, you need to reward them how you're gonna look on the trial day. So head up, like looking forward, head up, and then I go, yes, and I feed her. Because I was doing a lot of looking down at my dog. And then the other part of that is that the dog's looking in your eyes, and then on trial day, you pick your head up, and the dog has to wrap around here to look you in the eyes. So that really changed my perspective too, that I need to be keeping my head up, and I kind of look at her like this so I can see where she is. And then, I try to reward her when I look like I'm in the trial picture, right? Because that's how you're gonna walk on trial day. And then if it all changes, then it's gonna fall to shit. So that was really important. He told me, I was stressing about Azula's lack of control in protection because, she's a wild child and she gets so excited about protection, and I enjoy that, but I was struggling to get her controllable. And I told Frank that, and he wasn't too worried about it because she's not very old and she's a female. And so he said he would rather, he likes to hear that she's pretty intense and excited to work. So he told me that I can let her, and this is just if I was understanding this right. Walking up to the field in protection, she can be a little bit wild. But when I get to the gate, as soon as she sits or she looks at me, I can send her to go get a bite. And that's how it starts on the small level. Just getting a little bit of obedience and then sending her immediately. And that's also what Dave Croyer was doing in his videos. So I'm following that as well. Just getting a sit or a down and then letting her bite when she shows just a bit of control. That's reasonable for her. And the other thing is I do need to work her like I can start secondary obedience with a toy and with food, and I need to do more of that. I've just been trying to really get this heel position first. So there's a lot I can do, and I think it's gonna turn out great. It's just kind of the messy middle right now. But yeah, so sorry for the long rant. That is what I've been up to, what I've been doing, who I've been enjoying watching. And we have also been turning our garage into a little gym and training area for fun. So that's been pretty cool. We're gonna train out here today. And I'm psyched because this is pretty awesome. This is like my dream. Okay, I'm also gonna show you my training organizing box because I think it's brilliant and I need to show it to people. So Okay. All right, I got this Tactics box for my birthday. Ugh. Okay. So this box is the bomb if you're trying to organize your stuff, because Lord knows when you do dog sports, you have too much stuff and not enough organization. So the top opens up and I've got just a little pillow in there. It's kind of destroyed. That. I have my Underdog training vest, and I love this vest, guys. I would definitely recommend. So there's my vest. There's my pillow. This vest is a size extra small, and I usually wear like a women's medium. So, but it's a unisex. So if you get this and you're a smaller woman like me, I'm not that small though, guys. I'm a pretty solid medium. The extra small is good enough. Okay, what else do I have? I have a tab, fur saver, poop bag, and this is a biothane harness from Learberg. That was probably like $80. So as far as harnesses go, it wasn't as bad as maybe a leather one. So that just locks like that. And then what's awesome is these have pull-out drawers that unlock like that. Guys, I'm like obsessed with well, okay, it's not that organized right now, but I am obsessed with really aesthetic organization. I'm not good at it, but I strive to be. So I have some training notes. Ew, just throw up. Okay. I have some training notes that I made from stuff I learned from people. Long line, ball. I should put my other ball there. Leash, agitation collar. I would also really recommend these Elite K9 balls. I would really recommend these Elite K9 balls. I played a little bit hard with Azula and she kind of tore the thing out, the string. But I'm going to just reroute like paracord through it and tie a knot so that doesn't happen again. But I really like the heaviness of these balls. This is, I don't know if this is a 3-inch or 4-inch. I think this is 3 inches. I don't know. The T-handle's nice, but I am very concerned about her biting this T-handle because it's extremely hard and I do not want her to like crack a tooth on it. So you can get them without T-handles. So I'd probably recommend that. Okay, and then here's the last drawer. I have more of these little balls. A client gave me these. He ordered the tiny ones on accident. So I don't know if these are gonna even work. I have not tried them with Zula. She's used to the really big ones. And then I have my dowel, I have chuck it balls, and I have my little makeshift articles that I don't know. I just made them from Home Depot. I just took the free carpet samples. So that's what I'm using for now. And yeah, that's pretty much the box. Cute. So that's pretty much what I've got going on in my box. I usually have kibble packed in there as well. You getting a good stretch? Usually have kibble. But yeah, I think the next thing I'm going to be purchasing is probably like a wedge, just so that when Parker and I practice obedience at home, or sorry, protection at home, if I don't borrow one from club, then all I'm using is this thing, and she's too big and comes in too hot for that thing. I mean, it works, but it's just not as easy to use. So that'll probably be my next purchase. And here's another look at the training room so far. And then we're gonna have a squat rack over here because Parker and I, Parker likes to work out. I used to. I need to be better at it. But yeah, that's the room.